Hello there everyone, and welcome to another edition of Lydia's Crafty Corner, with me, Lydia, in my crafty corner. So today we're going to be creating this card. I've used the beautiful Birds of a Feather stamp set. Even though this is a solid image stamp, we can add a little more depth and dimension to them by using a little bit of direct to stamp blending. So the first up, here's the set that I'm going to be using. This is the Birds of a Feather stamp set with the lots of beautiful layered birds here. So firstly, I'm going to cut these out using the coordinating dies. I'm using my little mini blossom machine as it's really super easy and quick to cut them out. I've decided to cut them out first because I wanted to get the images in the right place. So having the die cut already cut for me means I'm not going to be able to cut the legs off later on. So once I have them cut, I'm then going to stamp them. So I'm using one of the layers first, and for this one I'm going to be using some Mountain Mist, Volcano Lake, and also Lagoon. So first up, I am going to ink the whole image up using the Mountain Mist. I'm then going to take the Volcano Lake and a little ink dauber, and I'm going to add ink to the bottom part of the bird. So I'm not going all the way up, but I am blending the ink up to probably about halfway. I'm then going to take the Lagoon and I'm just going to add this in right at the bottom where most of the depth and shadow would be on the bird image. I then go in with the Mountain Mist again. I don't think you need to do this bit, the end one, but you can if you want. I didn't do it on all of them, I just did it on a couple of them, and I found that the look looked exactly the same. So if you don't want to go in the third time with the lightest colour, you really don't have to. For the second ink combination, the pink one, I have got the I've got the Frosty Pink, the Cotton Candy, and also the Coral Berry. So I've inked it up first with the Frosty Pink, then I've gone halfway with the Cotton Candy, and then I've added in the darker one right at the bottom to give me a lot of depth and shade down the bottom of this little tummy. So there is the pink one done. Sorry about the glare, it does seem to it does go away, it does, I promise. So then I'm going to go in with the third bird, and this is the third colour combo I'm using. I'm using some dewdrops, then I'm using the Aqualicious, and then I'm using the Teal Tide right at the bottom. So again, I'm doing it all the same, so I'm going for the full coverage with the lightest colour, then I'm going halfway up with the medium shade, and then just at the bottom edge with the darker. So again, you can see here I've inked the whole stamp up with the dewdrops, then gone halfway with the Aqualicious, and then I've just added the Teal Tide right to the bottom of his wing. And I'm just going to keep going on, just adding the various parts to the birds with various of the colour combos. I'm sticking to the three, so I'm sticking with the blues, which is the dewdrops, Aqualicious, and the Teal Tide. So as you can see, I'm just adding in the various bits to the birds. I didn't end up using all the layer on the bird that looks upwards because he did have another layer, but I didn't want to add in another colour. I just wanted to stick to these three colour combos for all of the birds. So for the pink one, again, I am using the Frosty Pink, the Cotton Candy, and then Coral Berry at the bottom as well. And as you can see, these pieces fit in very, very easily. You don't have to get these exact, like if you got the wing a little bit wonky, as I did on my bluebird, it looks completely cute anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So once I've added all the pink ones in, I'm then going to go in with my teal ones again, so teal aqua colours. So this is the Mountain Mist, the Volcano Lake, and the Lagoon. And you know I use these all the time because it is my favourite colour combo of all time, and it is just beautiful. So I'm adding in all the little pieces, the wings, the little head pieces, and also the little tails as well. So once I've completed all of the little pieces on the birds, I'm then going to move on to their eyes. So there are 3 different eyes to go with the different birds in the set, but I just chose to use one because I was being a little bit lazy, and I've just popped these in using pure graphite. For the legs and the wings, they come in one piece, so I'm going to be doing these in the same colour combo. So I'm using some Buttercream, then I'm using Mango Smoothie for the halfway, and then the caramel toffee just to add the depth and dimension just to the very tips of the darker edges. So I would go for the darker edges on the top of the beak where it meets the face, and for the little feet I would go where it goes for the body, so where it attaches to the body, that would be the darkest bit. I'm not sure I did that on the first one, but I tried to do it on the other ones. So as you can see, I've just added the colours and I'm just popping the beaks and feet in, and you can see how easy they are to pop in if you do already have the die cut. Maybe if I'd have done this beforehand and I had stamped first without die cutting them first, I may have chopped off a little bit of their feet, and that's why I did die cut them first, because I found it easier to do it this way without chopping off any of my birdie's body parts, which I really didn't want. So once I've done the birds, I'm going to pop them to the side, and I'm going to add a little bit of ink blending to my card base. So again, I'm going to use the same blue colour combo. So this is the Dewdrops, then the Aqualicious, and the Teal Cave. So I really do like this colour combo, especially for skies. If you don't want them a little bit less blue, more tealy, this is a great one to go for. And it's very, very fresh and spring-like, I think. So I first started off with the Dewdrops just to give myself a base, and then I went in with the Aqualicious and then the Teal Cave, and I'm going over again with the Dewdrops just to blend everything together again. Once I've done that, I'm going to add a little splatter. I'm using the Iridescent spray from Ultinu, and I do find this very, very pretty on backgrounds. I'm then going to cut some branches. So this comes in the Birds of a Feather die set, and I'm cutting it from some white wood grain cardstock. I wanted to add a little bit of texture to the card, and I think that this works really, really well, especially when you're cutting out branches, especially white ones. You want a little bit of texture on there as well, and I think this works really, really good, and I like the look of them in the end as well. So I've cut 3 of them, each for the birds. I'm then going to add my sentiment onto my card base after I know that the spray is nice and dry. So I'm adding this in using a Misty, just in case I got it a little bit wrong and I could ink it up again, but I found that I did ink it up pretty well the first time. So I've used some permanent black ink from Ultinu, and I've just inked that up and popped it into place. Now it's time to play around with the birds to see if they're actually all going to fit on my card as I imagined, and they do, woohoo! So I'm just going to play around with them. I'm going to then add them on. So I'm adding the birds on with a little bit of dimensional foam behind them. As you can see, I'm just popping a little bit just behind the body and popping them into place. I'm then going to add some glue to the branches. So the birds are popping up a little bit and my branches are then going to be flat. So I'm going to be using the Ultinu tape. This is my favorite tape ever. So this is the one I'm going to be using. So I'm just going to flip my branches over so the textured side is on the side that I'm not gluing, and then I'm just going to do all 3 of these and then pop them into place. Because I only have the foam tape on the back of the birds' bodies and the legs are free, I can wiggle around my little branches to my heart's content to make sure they are in the right place that I want them to be. And I just see how pretty those branches are, and it really does ground the birds, so it doesn't look like they're floating on my card anymore. They've got somewhere nice to sit, and I think they're quite happy on their little textured branches. So I'm just moving that behind, and it's all nice and perfect. I do love how it turned out. So I just want to cut off the bits. I'm just going to open my card up and cut from behind. I'm a little bit worried about the little bit of ink that I've got inside of my card, but because the front's so pretty, I don't think people are going to mind much if they receive this card. So there's the card all complete. I really do hope that you like it and you like the technique. I would love to see what you come up with using the technique of ink blending onto your stamps before you do stamp them. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you don't want to miss out on any of the videos that we do upload to the channel, it would be great if you do subscribe. There are a couple more videos here for your perusal if you would like, and I will see you again really, really soon. Goodbye.